Please stop calling me. Shit. Hello? Hello.
Hello, are you able to hear me?
I can. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Super fantastic. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
Let's see. Daryl is here. Nice to meet you, Sean. I'm Rhonda. I am the executive assistant to the president of the 100 Black Men of Las Vegas, and Daryl Rayford is our CFO for the 100.
Very well. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too. Are you where are you? What part of the world are you in?
I'm in Houston, Texas.
You Houston, Texas. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Hello, Mr. Kenty.
Hello, Rhonda. How are you?
Good, good. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We are going to let the kids get on, and let me give you all co-host. Let me make you co-host so you can share your screens and do all that fun stuff.
Mr. Canty, what part of the world are you from?
I'm actually local here in Las Vegas.
Oh, you're here in Las Wages, Las Wages.
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't build this, they did not build this town by giving out money. So hey.
Right.
That's why Sean's not here. He said, I'm gonna keep my money in my pocket.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's exactly why I'm not there.
So I did not see your guys' bio. I know I saw it somewhere. So I'm just going to introduce you guys and just tell us a little bit about yourselves.
I'll give it a couple more minutes. So I want to make sure some more students come on before we start because I don't want them to miss anything.
You all right?
Sounds good to me.
Good morning, Jeremiah and Sudan. Cut your cameras on, please. We want to see your lovely faces.
Hey, Bengali, are you able to share your screen? Are you able to project the presentation for me?
Who's that?
Bengali?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean, what did you say?
I was saying, are you able to project the presentation for me?
Hold on, let's see.
Okay, good morning. We're going to start. It's about 10:03. You know I like to start on time, but I gave you a couple extra minutes. Hello, Majesty. How you doing? Hello, Janaya. How you doing? Please cut your cameras on so we can see your lovely faces.
Hey, Janaya.
Okay, Daryl, take it away.
Jeremiah, are you going to join us? You going to show your lovely face? Yes, no, maybe so. Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good
Glad
morning.
you guys could show up for our Saturday financial program. We have two guest speakers that took the time out to spend with you, and I look forward to hearing from them myself and learning a little something. I appreciate them taking the time. My man Sean Slaughter in Houston, Texas, is a regional sales program manager, and I think he canceled his golf for us today, so we should appreciate that. And his counterpart, Mr. Conte, here in Las Vegas, And he's also a regional program manager. They both work for Wells Fargo. So
Yes.
again, they took the time out to spend with us on this Saturday. So I look forward to their presentation and I look forward to learning something. So can everybody turn their phones off and give them a welcome? Appreciate it.
Very well, thank you.
And Sean, we'll start with you, sir.
Absolutely. So Jeremiah is not here. Egypt, are you able to turn on your camera for us? And everyone else, Braylon, and I believe it's Sudan. I can't see your faces. If you guys can please show your faces
And
to me.
Giselle, I missed you last week, man.
So welcome, you guys. First, I'll just say that it is a pleasure to be here with you guys this morning. It's afternoon for me because I'm based out of Houston, Texas. This is not new to me. Obviously, I've participated with 100 Black Men in other areas of the world, as this is a fantastic organization that continues to do magnificent work in the communities in which they serve. And I'm just excited to be here with you guys today. And we're gonna go through a simulation today. But before we do that, I have my counterpart, Bengali Kante, here that will introduce himself to you guys. And he's also local. So Bengali, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Sean, and thank you, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. Again, I'm here locally, here in Las Vegas. And so been with Wells Fargo for a 10+ year, doing financial educations to companies that we work with. So super excited to be here and to be part of this amazing organization. So yeah, Sean, back to you so we can get some excitement going on here. And yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bengali. And you guys, so I have one rule, and that rule is you guys have to participate along with me. I cannot sit here and do this by myself. So there's opportunities for you guys to actually go through a real life simulation with the hands-on banking experience. And before we get started, I just kind of want to give you a few housekeeping rules. And the only rule, again, is that you participate. And by participating, I want you guys to let me know that you guys are paying attention to me. Down at the bottom right-hand of your screen, there's emojis there. If you guys can give me either a clap or a thumbs up to let me know that you guys are here with me. All right. Egypt, Sudan, am I pronouncing that right? Very well.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Giselle? No? There it is, thumbs up. Janaya? Caesar? Majesty? All right, cool, very well. All right, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. So there's gonna be opportunities for us to participate, and I hope everyone has gotten their worksheet. Can you guys please raise your hand if you checked your email for the worksheet, because we're gonna need those worksheets throughout the simulation. If you can just kind of wave your hand or go ahead and give me another emoji clap or a high five. All right, so there's gonna be questions for you guys. So you're gonna have to obviously come off of mute. Thank you, Egypt. You're gonna have to come off of mute and you're gonna have to interact with me. There's gonna be opportunities for you guys to earn some money. There's gonna be some hiccups where you're going to have to give away some money. So the basic of this is it's a real money management simulation that helps us. And Bengali, I'm sorry, are you able to project the actual presentation by sharing your screen? You're on mute. Let's see, once we get that up, let's see. You're on mute, Bengali. Let's see here.
Okay, I think now I'm getting it. Hold on, let me try one more time.
Okay.
It's still disabled on my end here.
Let's see here. Rhonda, are you able to disable it? So while we're working through that, I'll just start with the hands-on banking experience as a real-world money management simulation that helps to teach the importance of financial education concepts. With these concepts, it teaches you those skills of budgeting, comparison shopping, evaluating needs versus wants, and trade-offs in relevant and engaging ways. So each of you have received that profile detailing your career. It shows your career, your income, and your family status. And you'll use those profiles throughout today with this activity. So we're gonna start by reviewing the profile and budget worksheet. So if you guys have that sheet in front of you, very well, we can see it now. If you guys have that sheet in front of you, we are going to go ahead and move to the second slide, Bengali, so that we can go ahead and get started. And with this simulation here, the profile that you guys are looking at that you have in your hand, these worksheets will include information on your career, on your income, on your family. You'll also use this to make some real world financial decisions. So we're gonna take a look at the details in your personal profile. So each of you have received a personal profile. It's gonna indicate your profession. It's gonna show your gross yearly salary and then your gross monthly salary. So we're gonna start off again. Remember, I mentioned in the beginning that this was interactive. So I'm gonna need for you guys to please share with me. Anyone who wants to participate, just throw your hands up and answer the question. And if we don't get anyone to participate, then I'll be calling you by name. So if I can get a volunteer to share with me what your profession is. One volunteer.
Well, Sean, this is the youth. They probably don't have a profession yet, so it's probably what they want to aspire to be.
Well, yeah, so and on the budget worksheets, it would have given you your profession, you guys. So if you look at that top right below the profile and budget worksheet, it should show you what your profession is. So for the simulation and for the sake of this, you're going to have a for play profession. So for me, I have the accountant worksheet. Did I hear someone speak? Braylon? You want to bring yourself off mute?
I'm secretary.
You're secretary. All right. And Braylon, hi, or anyone in the room. So Braylon's a secretary. Do we have anyone else with a different profession? Let's see, anyone else?
Speak right up, speak right up. Don't be shy.
All righty. Elijah, what's your profession?
I'm trying to open the simulation so I can see.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll give you a couple of minutes and we'll come back to you. Giselle, what's your profession?
I'm also opening the simulation right now.
What was that?
I said I'm opening the simulation right now.
Got you. Okay. Who else has their simulation already open so that we can find out what your profession is? Caesar?
I got secretary.
Secretary. Braylon? Add secretary. Who else has a different profession out there? All right, guys. So for the sake of time, I'll tell you that I have the accountant right here on my screen. I am the accountant. All right. So for the sake of this, for time, I'm going to move forward. But if you guys have problems getting your budget worksheets open, please let us know, okay? Just shoot us a message in the chat box and let us know that you're having an issue getting access to that. But for the sake of time, is there anyone that can explain to me what your gross salary is? If you look here on the budget worksheet, if you already have it open, it'll show you what your gross monthly salary is.
Can you make that bigger? Is it possible for you to make that bigger?
Let's see. I believe for viewing options, you guys can all make your individual screens bigger. All right, so here it is. I'm gonna give you guys the gross salary is the amount of money that you make before any taxes or other deductions are taken out of your paycheck. So your worksheets will indicate your monthly take-home pay. Who knows what it means when I say take-home pay? Let me get a volunteer, you guys, don't be shy.
Pay after taxes.
There it is. So your take-home pay is the amount of money that you get to take from your paycheck after you've paid all your taxes and deductions. Who was that answered that?
Me, Elijah.
Elijah, great job. Great job, Elijah. So next, determine if you are married or single. So at the top right, it's gonna show you if you are married or single, all right? And this is all for the simulation of this virtual simulation. So if you are married, you'll see it in the box to the left side of your profile that tells you the profession of your spouse as well and the amount of their monthly take-home pay. So if you look at the orange, that's your monthly balance box where you've totaled up your total income, including your spouse's income if you have one. And then you'll see that information at the, that information about your level of education. So if you're a student or if you have any student loans, you would have made payments, and if you have children, all right? So I wanna know if someone can tell me what level of education you see on your actual budget worksheet. Anyone?
I have a high school diploma.
High school diploma?
I have a bachelor's degree.
Bachelor's degree? Anyone else? All right, who would like to share if they have any children?
I have a 14-year-old son.
There it is.
I have a
So you have the responsibility of parenthood. So that comes with greater responsibility. Those of you that have a kid on your budget worksheet, take note of that, all right? All right, so here, we are going to now take a look at the next profile worksheet. And on the first column, it'll show you where the station is. And in the station column, you'll need to write your name, write the name of the station that you're getting ready to visit. And then the second column is going to be where you choose your options. So at each station, listen carefully, you'll be presented with several options, and they all have different benefits and cost. So in this column where it says option chosen, which is the second column, you want to write down the option that you choose at each of those stations, all right? The third column is your expense. And in this column, you'll write down the expense that's associated with the station option that you selected, all right? So pay attention to that because you will be responsible for making sure that you are within budget at the end of this simulation, all right? So with that being said, the column where you see the expense, which is the very last column, that's the column where you're gonna write down the associated expense with the option that you selected, all right? And then the final column is gonna be your remaining balance, all right? So the remaining balance, this is gonna reflect your monthly balance as a running total of all of the money that you have remaining for the month. And to determine the monthly balance, you'll need to take your starting balance and then you'll need to subtract all of the expenses as you are visiting each station, all right? So remember to calculate your monthly balance after every expense, after every station, and oh, I forgot, this is kind of like playing Monopoly. So you're gonna get a chance card. That chance card could be either a good or a bad chance card. So you could either add money to your account or we'll take money away from you, all right? So your monthly balance will need to remain above zero, and that's the key, you guys. You're gonna balance out what your earnings are and what you started with earlier in that month, all right? So as we go through this hands-on banking experience, it's important that you stay above zero, all right? If you fall below zero, you'll need to revisit a station and make some adjustments to some of the options that you've chosen. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? I need some answers. You guys come off of mute for me. All right. I see Caesar gave me a thumbs up. Elijah, thank you. All right, you guys. So a key concept of this experience also is retirement, you guys. So it's important that under the station column where we have provided a retirement field that you calculate your contribution. So again, I need to know that you guys understand this before we move forward because I don't want to leave you guys behind. So if you can just give me a thumbs up or a verbal acknowledgement, that'll be great. Very well. All right, so next we'll provide the student loan field. So look at your profile and see if you have any student loans. If you do, you need to make sure that you record that as an expense in the row labeled student loan. Now you take your monthly balance and you subtract that student loan expense. So if you have that, you need to take that out of whatever your monthly balance is, your starting monthly balance. So make sure you deduct that and then write that in the remaining balance column. All right, so make sure you note that on your worksheet. If you don't have any student loans, then you don't have to worry about that expense. So your monthly balance will remain the same. So there's no need for you to fill out the option chosen column if you do not have a student loan. All right. So we're gonna move on to the experience now. So we'll play the simulation virtually and we'll start together at the first station, right? And then you'll make the choice at each station. While making your choices, you have to remember that the remaining balance of your profile. So make note of that and be sure not to go below the 0. Are you guys with me? Yes, okay. We are going to start moving along. All right, so this is the communication station. So this is the first station. And at this station, you are required to pick at least one of the mobile phone, cable, internet plans listed. So you can choose one of the internet plans, you can choose a home bundle package, and you can also select multiple options at this station. And what you have to remember is that on your profile, you have to write the name of the station, what option you picked, and the cost that comes up with your new remaining balance by deducting this expense from your remaining balance, all right? Throughout this concept, I'm gonna give you guys some key ideas to help you understand the communication station. So in a real life situation, I want you to really think about what type of communication you have. And I want you guys to come off of mute and tell me some of the communication styles, some of the communication things that you guys have at your fingertips that possibly cost money. So if I can get a couple of volunteers just to come off of mute really quick and tell me what communication things you guys have right now at your disposal. Like what do you guys have in your current home right now? If I can get a couple of volunteers, or Bengali will call out a couple of them to volunteer for us.
I have a mobile phone.
Mobile phone, what type of mobile phone is that?
iPhone 10.
iPhone 10. Who else has an iPhone 10? Or Android? Giselle? Okay. Who else?
I have an iPhone.
iPhone, what iPhone do you have?
11.
11. All right. So Elijah and Caesar, do you guys have Wi-Fi at home?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else who has cable at home? All right.
I believe I have cable.
Okay. Who's using streaming services? Do you guys know what streaming services are?
Yes.
Okay. Who's using streaming services? What streaming services are you guys using?
Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus.
Here it is.
My family has Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, and that's just a few I can list off the top of my head.
That's a lot. So as you guys see that we are all using different communication styles or some similar, right? So in this simulation, you're gonna go through the communication station and you're going to select your options here. So you can, again, you can select a bundle package or you can select one of the following packages that are on the screen under mobile, cable, or internet. So I'm gonna give you guys a full minute to go ahead and select your packages, but remember, the name of the game is saving as much as you can. So look at your options here and see what costs are associated with it, and then make the best selection for you and your family. So I'll give you guys a full minute. Give you guys 30 more seconds. All right. So let's see. I want to check for understanding. Who was able to complete that task really quick and would like to share what you've selected and why? All right, Giselle, go ahead. You're on mute. If you can come off of mute for us.
Sorry, I thought I clicked it. I completed it. I got the basic bundle. Why? Because I don't like spending money.
Okay. So which basic, you got the basic bundle, which costs $95. And if you really think about it, why is that the most economical option for you? Again, you just mentioned it. Share with the rest of the group why.
A simple answer, I don't like spending money.
Okay. And then if you think about it as well, it's the cheapest, right? So you're saving as well. So you don't like to spend money and then you're saving. So you should definitely make out very well on that one. Is there anyone else? All right, so before we move forward, I want to make sure that you guys are able to fill out your budget worksheets correctly. So if there's anyone that needs help, just go ahead and raise your hand and we'll be able to help you before we move forward. All right, we're going to move forward, Bengali, to the next slide. And on this slide, now we have the clothing station. So you are required to pick one of the clothing options listed on the slide. It's important that we note that the prices are per adult and per child. So you need to refer back to your profile to help you determine the total cost station, all right? You need to calculate the total cost of your clothing for your family, and then you need to write your choices on your profile sheet, all right? So again, some savings idea. I'll share with you guys from my personal experience that I think to save on some things, if at all possible, family members may have some clothes that are gently used, right? So you probably want to consider that as a factor. You may have a younger brother at some point, and if your parents or if you, as you grow older, have kids, you probably want to save some of those clothes so that you can pass them down to your younger siblings, all right, or your younger kid. So buying clothes from a thrift store may be a great way to save money. You may even find some cool vintage items, all right? Many thrift stores resell items that are in good shape. So you also probably would want to consider shopping there versus department stores that probably mark up the prices, or Amazon, wherever you choose to shop as an adult. Again, so you're gonna pick an option from the clothing section here and then go ahead and document it on your profile worksheet. And then remember, it's per adult and per child. So make sure that you're buying for everyone in your household. I'll give you another minute here to go ahead and make your selections. And at this time, if you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a wave of hand or shoot us an emoji and we'll be able to help you through this process. All right, let's start wrapping it up. All right, Bengali, I'm gonna need your help here. If you can give me a name for this next slide. We have a chance card. So if you wanna give me a name, Bengali.
Elijah Smith.
Elijah. So this is an unexpected expense and it can happen to anyone, Elijah. So we've included this real life simulation of a chance card. So there is a hailstorm in your area and your windows broke. You have to pay $100 to fix it. So Elijah, unfortunately, This is a part of being an adult. You know, this is an unexpected expense. So you need to subtract $100 so that you can get your windows fixed from this storm. You know, and again, this can happen at any time. You know, this is random. And as an adult, we have things that happen that are unexpected. And this is kind of like the cost that goes along with it. All right. So Elijah, don't be, you know, upset. There's a possibility that you may win this $100 over 10 times more. All right. It's the game of life. Any questions here, you guys, before we move forward? Giselle, you can come off mute.
Yeah, so if anyone get a chance card, do we have to pay it? Because in like a real life situation, I would have just threw a curtain over it.
Well, I don't think you would want to leave a curtain over it, because then it would invite intruders. It would also damage even more of your property. If you're a homeowner, you probably would want to fix it. It's kind of like, you know, you pay for what you get, right? If you don't fix it, then you're going to incur more damage. So I think a rule of thumb is to make sure that you just spare the expense and repair the window. You'll come out cheaper that way versus the long run of not doing it. Sounds good? All right, cool. All right, you guys, so we are moving on. So at this next station, it's gonna be your housing one. So this is a really good one, and it's something that you guys should really take heed on. So if you've not paid attention to anything in depth, I would encourage you to pay attention to this part, because this is a part as to how we understand the areas that we choose to live in. And this is an option for us to really kind of monopolize and build generational wealth for ourselves if we are in a position to buy homes, right? So at this station, you'll pick a housing option of the choice that's listed here. So you got suburban, downtown, and then rural areas. So there's a few rules at this station, you guys, that corresponds with transportation stations that you'll see a little later. So if you choose to live in a rural area, when we get to the transportation station, you have to choose a car. You cannot pick public transportation or walking, biking as an option. And I'll just kind of throw the question out there. Is anybody familiar with the rural area and what that means? All right. So I'll give you guys an example. You guys are living in Las Vegas, right? You guys have pretty decent transportation structure, right? So you guys are although you're living in the desert, you guys have some form of transportation there in Vegas, Las Vegas. Here in Texas, we have some rural areas, and the transportation system does not extend out into a rural area because it's almost like we're just far out from everything. We're literally like 30 miles to our nearest grocery store in some rural areas. So public transportation as an option is not going to happen for me if I live in a rural area. So I would need to have a car. A bike wouldn't even help me because of the roads really aren't conducive to riding a bike, right? So that would kind of give you an idea of a rural area. Now, if you choose housing, the housing option in a suburban area, then you can choose public transportation as an option, but you cannot pick a bike, all right? So suburban is just where a lot of homes are, a lot of families, and public transportation is an option, right? And then if you choose downtown, if you guys live downtown or know anything about a downtown area anywhere you live, everything is centrally located in downtown. Like you can walk to restaurants, you can walk to the grocery store, you can walk to the gym, you can walk to the schools. So downtown pretty much has everything. So you can pick walking or a bike as an option, all right? And again, remember I said that I would share some key ideas with you guys. So when picking the apartment option, you'll be paying rent, right? So this means that you do not own the property. You're paying into someone else's investment, all right? When you own the home, then you pay for the repairs out of your own pocket. Again, that is how you build your own generational wealth. So if I can get a volunteer to just share with me, what option do you feel would be most beneficial to you as an adult? Anybody can bring themselves off of mute and share that option with us. Their choice with us. Anyone? You can come off of mute.
I choose the 2-bedroom apartment on rural.
Okay. Anyone else? I'm gonna start calling you guys out. All right, Sudan, go ahead.
I choose the one bedroom apartment on downtown.
Okay. Anyone else? One other person for me. What did you choose? If I can get another volunteer. Majesty, Janaya, Braylon, Jeremiah. You guys, somebody come off of mute and tell me what you've chosen.
I chose the 2-bedroom apartment in the rural area.
Okay. And if anybody want to share why they chose that. I think I know why, but I want to just I want to understand.
I chose it mainly because it was cheaper and I have a kid, so I have to have 2 bedrooms.
Got it. Very well. Okay. Anyone else?
I guess the reason why I chose mine was because most, like, I guess, like, it's a bit more easier to go like certain places to get the utility that I need.
Okay. Did you guys hear that? All right. All right, so we're done with the housing option. We're gonna move to the next option. So this is a furniture station. In the furniture station, you are required to pick at least one choice for furniture from the options listed at the station. So we know that furniture is not usually paid for monthly, but we wanted to make sure you understand that furniture is an expense that you have to choose when you're an adult, all right? So again, some ideas for you to kind of take to heart is really, I'm going to encourage you to think about what type of furniture you want realistically for your family. All right. And then I want you to think about your housing option that you chose. So what furniture makes the most sense for your family? All right. So on your profile budget worksheets, I want you guys to go ahead and pick one of the furniture options below. I'll give you about 45 seconds to do that. All right, remember to make it make sense for where you're living at. And of course, the cost. So who can share what they've chosen as their furniture?
I chose borrow/donated furniture.
Very well. Says the guy who likes to save money and doesn't like to spend it. Who else?
I would get thrift / secondhand furniture.
Got it. All righty. All right, here we go. So we're gonna move to where Bengali and I work. So this station is the bank station. You are required to put a minimum of $10 into one of the savings accounts listed. So if you have children, you may want to consider the college savings account as an option. All right. Again, key ideas. I want to make sure that you guys understand that saving money is like paying yourself first. Have you guys heard of paying yourself first? All right, Elijah. And then saving is important really to help you reach many financial goals. So the savings option here really can help you get started. And then have you guys heard of an emergency savings account? All right, so just like we just experienced that window being broken, right? That's an unforeseen event. Other things that can be unforeseen is an illness or a loss of job. So you wanna make sure that you're saving for emergencies such as that, all right? It's been called life, all right? So even if you think that you don't have enough money to save, you really wanna consider starting small because it does add up, all right? Giselle, go ahead.
Can we have multiple savings accounts or just one?
Hey, I mean, you can have multiple if you choose. You know, I think it's smart. It's a smart thing to do. You know, it depends on how you create your budget, you know, and what you're saving towards. You know, I'll tell you guys personally, I have 3 savings accounts. I have one for vacation, I have one for emergencies, and then I have one as my allowance. So that's the money that I kind of play around with. And anything at the end of the month that's still in that allowance account, I sometimes will take that and apply it to something that I probably overindulged on, like swiping my credit card during the holidays. So I'll just pay that down a lot faster if I have money in my play account that is left over at the end of the month. All right. That's just works for me. So it'll work differently for each of you as you start to grow older. So I'm going to give you guys about another minute just to kind of figure out where you're going to kind of play around with the savings, the college savings, and your emergency savings. All right. So I'll give you a full minute.
Can I interject?
Absolutely.
Sean? Hi, everybody. One of the things that Mr. Slaughter also brought up was he's asking you, advising you to create good habits. If you start these habits early, they'll be part of your regimen. So it won't be a big deal of putting money in a savings account. It won't be a big deal putting money in an emergency fund. It won't be a big deal putting money in a college fund. And then when you need it, as Mr. Slaughter said, when he finishes his Christmas celebration, he goes in here and pays off his credit card. That's a discipline, because credit card rates can be high. So heed what Mr. Slaughter is saying, because there's a lot of good nuggets in there.
Thank you. Absolutely. So if you guys didn't take note, you better take note now. We are moving on. All right. So it's time for another chance card. This card says that you've locked yourself out of your house and you have to pay $75 to get your doors unlocked. So Bengali, who's going to incur the $75 charge?
All right, that's gonna go to Zezo.
All righty. Giselle, you unfortunately got a $75 charge that you need to add to your budget worksheet and subtract it from your running total.
Okay.
All right.
Easy way to
you
get
got
that.
it because you save your money, right? So that's just an unexpected expense that's not gonna burn a hole in your pocket, right? You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Hey, Sean, remember, Giselle don't have he didn't replace his window, so he's just gonna climb in through the window with no big deal.
Right. So there you go. You may have just saved some money. He helped you out there, Giselle.
He said, okay, my door's locked. I'm gonna climb in through.
I'm just gonna climb through the window. There you go. Look, he just saved you. He may have just saved you if you can climb through the window without hurting yourself. But for the sake of this game, Giselle, go ahead and write that $75 out of your account.
Exactly.
You'll get it back. You'll get it back. All right, you guys. So we are moving on to the eating out station. All right. So the eating out station, at this station, you're required to pick at least one eating out plan listed at the station. So the cost of this activity is per person in the family, and the costs are listed by how many times you eat out each month. So you can also pick as many add-ons as you want. So if you see to the right, you can pick on those add-ons, but you have to remember that the cost is per person. So some things that I want you to consider is how many times do you eat out now? And I want you to be realistic with yourself. What do you do now? So as you currently live with your parents, I want you to kind of think about what you're doing now, because those habits are probably going to fast forward. If you guys are used to your parents cooking, then maybe you'll pick up that habit. And then sometimes when you move out on your own, you don't learn how to cook, you may eat out often, or you may have a balance. So make sure that you're considering that. I'm gonna give you about a minute to go ahead and go through this portion of it. And then think about cutting back on how many times you eat out if you could, because it definitely will help you to save at the end of the day. So I'll give you a minute to go ahead and get this done. We'll come back at 1 minute. Have 30 more seconds. All right, before we move over to the next slide, how is this landing on some of you guys? Are you guys getting the hang of this, or are you having problems? Do you feel like you're running out of money so far, or what? Come on off of mute and share with me how you guys are, how this is landing on you guys.
I'm doing good. I still have a lot of money left.
You have a lot of money left? All right. Who else has a lot of money left?
I have a little bit of money left.
Okay. Braylon, I saw you raise your hand. You can come off of mute for me.
I still have a lot of money left.
Still have a lot of money left. All right. So you guys are doing really well, but don't make sure that you guys are buying your necessities, the things that you need, so that you don't have too much money at the end. You want to make sure that you guys are living comfortably since you've earned the money. All right, so we're going to move over to the next option, and that option is childcare. All right, so childcare station, you'll have to pick at least one childcare option. If you have any children under the age of 14, so if you have kids that are under 14, the cost for each option is per child, except if you choose the option to have a nanny. If you pick the nanny option, the cost is for your whole entire family and it's not per child. So if you look at this list here, if you pick the nanny versus kids under 14, then if you have 1 or 2 kids, you probably really want to weigh your options if you have more than 2 kids, all right? So some families can choose childcare because of their work schedules. And then there's other factors that someone may need childcare, but there's different types of childcare. You have some childcare that people would have to come in and help with homework or even take them on field trips, all right? So I'll give you guys about 45 seconds to go ahead and select your next option here under childcare.
What if your child is above the age of 14?
If your child is above the age of 14, we're going to think that that child is self-sufficient and could operate without adult supervision for a certain period of time, okay? However, that 14-year-old cannot be responsible for any of the other siblings, all right? Great question. Great question there, Giselle. All right, you guys, so we're gonna move over to the next one. All right, this is entertainment. And I know that you guys all love entertainment after all of the hard work that you're putting in during school, that the entertainment station is where you're going to pick 1 or more options for entertainment. All right, so it's listed at the station. So the cost for each activity, again, is per person in their family. So you have to think about what you can realistically afford based on the size of your family. So these activities at this station are per person. So be realistic when you're looking at your budget and what you can afford. And then what type of activities do you currently do with your family right now? All right. So I want you guys to make sure that you're reading through these options and picking the best option for your family. All right. Remember, it has to be realistic and for your family. So I'll tell you guys, for us, me and my family get together a lot. You know, we love to get together and we love game nights. So a lot of times we can cut out some of this stuff. If we want to go swimming, we go to the community pool at a family member's house. I would say amusement parks. You know, you find a family member that possibly have discounted or free tickets to amusement parks. You can cut that. I'm thinking of bike rides. That's free. You just have to purchase a bike. Movies. You can also rent movies at a discounted price for your family and have a movie night at home. Especially in this current environment, we're doing more of that anyway, right? We're watching movies on Netflix. So those are some options that will help you curb the cost of some of these things. Family vacation is probably one that you can't really get around, but given the environment that we're in today, we're really not going on many vacations, right? Hopefully that'll change this summer and later. All right, so we're gonna move on from this particular slide unless you guys have any questions for us. All right, so insurance. So at this station, you are required to pick one insurance from the choices that are listed. So the costs listed are for 1, 2, or 3 or more people. Insurance can be extremely expensive, but paying for medical services out of pocket are generally more expensive. And this could be a huge impact to your financial well-being if you do not have some insurance to curb the cost of what you may have to pay out of pocket. All right. So insurance also helps protect against both health and financial risks, as I just mentioned. So I'll give you guys a minute to figure out what type of insurance plan you're going to pick for your family. Remember, the bundle deals seem to be a little more economical these days. Give you guys about 45 more seconds. It's gonna be all right, Giselle. All right. Any questions, you guys? All right. So here we go. This next chance card, it's time for another one. So this is a trivia chance card. If you answer correctly, you get to add money to your profile. So this card gives one example of a need and a want. If you can answer correctly, you add $100 to your account. All right. What is a need versus a want? If I can get someone to volunteer, come off of mute and share with me. Go ahead, Giselle.
Okay, a need is something essential that you need, and like a want is like a computer. You don't need a computer, but you want one. And like something you need is food in a house and a roof over your head. So that's a need and want.
Does anybody disagree with that?
No.
Does anyone agree with that? Tyler?
No.
You don't disagree. You agree with that, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and award Tyler and Giselle $100. So go ahead and add that to your bank. And if I were you, if you have money already at your disposal for the rest of your budget for the month, I would put that $100 into a savings account. Now, that's just me talking. I don't know what you want to do with that $100, but I will put it into my savings account. All right. We're going to move forward. So now we have the transportation station. Remember, you're required to pick one transportation from the choices listed. So take a look at your profile and find the housing option that you picked earlier. Remember from the rules earlier, if you chose to live in a rural area, you have to have a car. You cannot pick public transportation. You cannot choose walking or biking as an option. And then if you chose to live in a suburban area, you can choose public transportation as an option, but you cannot pick walking or biking. And then if you choose to live downtown, you can choose walking or biking as a choice, all right? And let me correct that. So if you chose to live in a suburban area, you can pick public transportation, but you cannot pick biking and walking. Now, same for rural area. I just wanna make sure that I'm clear that you cannot pick biking or walking in the rural or suburban area. You can only pick walking or biking downtown, all right? So owning a car obviously can be very expensive, but you know, public transportation is a great way to save money because you don't have to pay for the expenses of the car repairs if you have to get oil changes or new tires on the car. However, choosing public transportation can be extremely inconvenient. You know, a lot of times you want to just get in the car and go. Again, if you live in an area where you have to own a car, you want to consider if it will be cheaper to live anywhere else where you can use public transportation versus having the expense of a car, all right? So I'll give you guys a minute to go through these options to figure out what's gonna be the best option for you. And remember, you wanna consider your family. So if you have a family of 6, you know.
Wait, can I still get a car if I live in downtown and a one bed? Well, downtown.
I mean, you could, you know, theoretically, but you got to think about downtown now. As you guys grow and you start to move around, if you choose to live outside of Vegas, I'll share with you guys another personal story. I've lived in several places, and I've lived on one of the places that I've lived is Chicago. In downtown Chicago, you're paying almost, and this is the complete truth, you're paying almost a mortgage for a parking spot downtown Chicago. So you really want to consider if that car is really worth what you're going to be paying just to have it sitting for most of the time, because downtown traffic is horrendous. It's just too crazy to get through during rush hour. So do you want to take public transportation, or do you want to pay $1,000+ just to have a car parked in a space every month? And on top of that, you have the expense of the car note or car repairs. So you really want to think through the cost that's going to be associated with that decision. All right. All right. Any questions before we move on? All right. This may be some of your favorite parts. I know it's probably one of mine. So it's time to go to the grocery store. It's time to go grocery shopping. You are required to pick at least 1 or 2 grocery plans listed at the station. The costs are listed by how many people you have in your family. So some ideas: if you're living a healthier lifestyle, you want to buy organic groceries. They may be healthy, but they're also going to come with an additional cost. All right. So think about the type of groceries that you and your guardians currently buy as you're making your decisions on what type of grocery plan that you're going to select. So I'm going to give you a full minute here to go through and look at what your costs will be associated with your options. So regular grocery plan or organic plan, which one do you choose? Go ahead and make your choice, and then we'll come back in about a minute. And as you guys are going through that, we have a couple of more stations to go through, and then we'll go through review of what we've learned today, and then we'll go through a question and answer, and then I'll turn it back over to you guys for final thoughts. All right, I hope you guys are not hungry right now. All right, so we're gonna move on. Here's another one, charitable contributions. So it's important to give back, right? So we have included this charitable contribution given station. You're required to donate at least $10 to at least one of the charities that's listed, but you can choose more if you feel the need. You can choose community service options, which is at no cost, but there is a time commitment. So you really have to think about the time commitment that this is going to take. You want to consider your profession and then your family commitment before picking community service. So you may want to donate to the animal shelter or the homeless shelter versus giving up your time, unless you want to do something as a family. You know, that's a cool way for you to have a family outing, is to give back to the community. So a donation can help a charity for those that are in need, obviously. And then the other option is you can donate any amount to any community organization that may be near and dear to your heart. So I'm going to give you guys about 45 seconds to figure out where you want to kind of donate your money and or spend your time. Also noted, if you're going to commit to a community service option, sometimes it's 5 or more hours. Go ahead, Tyler.
Can I pick more than one? Can I pick animal and homeless?
Absolutely. You can pick more than one. You can be extremely generous. All right, we're getting ready to wrap this up. I'll give you another 10 seconds. All righty. We are back. Bengali, we have time for another chance card.
All right.
It's your birthday. So who are we giving that to, Bengali?
So we're gonna give this $100 to Giselle.
Ah, happy birthday, Giselle. See, it always comes back. It always comes back. You just spent that $75 to get your doors unlocked. You spent the $100 to get your window fixed, and now you got the $100 back, which leaves you with a profit of what, Giselle? Think quick. You had to pay $75 to get the door unlocked. You had to pay $100 to get the window fixed. You're getting $100 back, so how much profit do you get?
None. I lost $75 in the whole thing. Really
Nah, but we just gave you $100 back.
No, she's right. She lost $75.
You lost $75. Right? You got a $25 profit. So that's additional money that you want to put away in your savings account. All right, so we're gonna move to the next station, you guys. And this is the final station. And this station is a personal care station. And at this station, you need to pick at least one personal care plan that's listed. So the cost is either per family or per person. So you can choose as many personal care add-ons as you like. And you can also do the same for the add-ons. You can add on more than once. So consider how much you're currently spending on personal items. And then certain things at the station are wants and not needs. So you want to consider your wants. And then this is not an example. This may be something that's really relatable. So if you really think about what you're spending right now on some of these things, if you look at this list, it may be some things that your family currently spends on probably weekly and monthly if they don't buy in bulk. So take a look at the list and pick some of the options. And again, you can pick as many of the add-ons as you want. Give you guys 45 more seconds. All righty, you guys. So now that we've gone through all of our stations, are there any stations that you want to go back and revisit to change your decision? You guys can come off of mute and let me know. That way we can go back to that slide and revisit that station, one station at a time. So is there anyone that needs to go back and revisit any other stations to redo your decision that you've made? Look at how much money you have. Go ahead.
I want to go back to the clothes because I got yard sale clothes and I can get some new ones.
Gotcha. All right. Bengali, if you could take us back to the yard sale or to the clothing station.
Okay.
And remember here, you guys, the prices are per adult. So Giselle, you're getting ready to buy clothes. It's per adult and per child in the family. So you need to make sure that you calculate the cost for your family and then write that choice down and then subtract it from your monthly balance. Is there anybody else that wants to go to another station? If so, come on off of mute and let us know and we'll go back to that station for you. All right, so we are going to go back to the Q&A. Now that we finished this simulation, let's have an open discussion about something.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. So I'm a little late. So how much money did we originally start off with?
So Tyler, that all depended on your profile and budget worksheet. It should have been in your email. So you could have picked one of the professions in your email and that would have given you the dollar amount. Were you able to pull that out?
I'm not 100% sure. I probably am. Hold on.
Got you. Okay, yeah. So we sent email profiles to individual emails on yesterday. So I apologize that you didn't get that. But for the simulation, it gives you an occupation. It tells you your family and how much money you make, and if you have a spouse. So your monthly income with that spouse. And then what we've done is we've gone through different stations to buy things that we needed. And the end goal was really to figure out a way to save. And one of the other important factors, since Tyler has brought it up, is retirement. Throughout this simulation, you should have been putting away money every month for retirement. That is definitely something that you guys as young adults would want to consider as you are starting out. Once you're into high school and you obtain your first job, that's probably where you really want to consider saving for retirement. And then definitely in college. And I wouldn't, for a good amount of time, I would not hold off on starting some small retirement account because it all counts at the end, all right? So sorry about that, Tyler, but maybe next time we'll be able to get you on in time for a full simulation of this. And you can also do the simulation on your own, and I'll share that information at the end. You guys, now that we have finished the simulation, let's have an open discussion on some of the things that happened during the simulation. And I need full participation here. So if you guys can come off of mute, I have a question for you guys. If anyone wants to come off of mute, if not, I'll go ahead and call you guys. But I want to know, what lesson did you learn from this activity? If I could get a volunteer. All right, I'll start calling you guys by name. Egypt, not heard from you today. What have you learned from this activity? You just came off of mute, you're back on mute, Egypt. All right, Janaya.
I learned how to like sort my money for like how to actually like put it in like different areas and how to like save it.
Okay, very well. Who else? Jeremiah.
I kind of learned that there's some stuff that I can't really get that I want, so I have to be on a budget.
It's a real life situation, right? There's a lot of times where we don't have the means to get what we want, and we can only get the things that we need. But as you progress throughout life and you create a savings plan for yourself, you should be able to obtain some of those things that you want versus the things that you know that you need. All right, so great call. All right, does anyone want to share your strategy? Whether you thought it was successful or not? Like, is there anyone that I can call on to share their strategy? Whether you felt it was successful or if you didn't, please share for the good of the group. Giselle?
My strategy was, really it was be cheap and go small almost on everything. Mm-hmm. I used that strategy because I didn't know what type of finances was going to come into this simulation. So I didn't know if one of my family members were going to end up in a hospital or something like that. So I had to have money aside just to cover that. So that's why I went cheap most of the way.
Great call. Great way of thinking, Giselle. Very well. So obviously your strategy worked. Can you tell the group how much money you had left over at the end of the simulation?
Okay, let me go back and check.
All right, go back and check and then raise your hand and let us know. I have another question. Who ran out of money? Did anybody run out of money? All right. The other question is, how did anybody handle any unexpected expenses? Can anybody come off mute and share with me if you had any unexpected expenses? How did you handle them? So those that got the chance card that they had to pay, how did you handle paying that expense? Or how do you think you would handle paying that expense in a real life experience?
Excuse me, Sean. Egypt put her message in the chat. Did you see it?
Oh, I did not. Let me go and
Okay.
check. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Oh, I can just tell you what she said. She said she learned how to manage money and how to save and how important it is to know how to save and being smart with your money.
There it is. All right. Hey, Giselle, have you been able to come up with your total savings? All right, so we'll wait for Giselle to come back. Last is, based on what you've learned, and this can be a question for anybody, what might you do in real life with the experience that you just gained today? Let me hear from, let's see here.
Can I answer?
Yes. Majesty?
You said, like, what might I use in life to, like.
So based on what you've learned today, what would you do differently in real life?
I would think more when I like buy, because I usually just go out and buy. Like, I think about what I need to have done before I make a purchase.
Mm-hmm. Very smart. And you know, Majesty, I can share with you guys this morning, I had gone to the gym, and the first thing that I needed to do was, before I got back home, was to get water. And I don't know if you guys are going to the store with your parents, but a lot of times you go for one thing and you come out with complete opposite of what you were going for. So I think that's a smart move, is really to go in with a plan and write out a list of things that you need, so that you don't walk out with things that you just, you know, saw and wanted to walk away with. So great deal there. Last time, Giselle, were you able to come up with your total balance that you had left over? If not, it's all right. As long as you guys made sure that you ended the simulation with a positive balance and you weren't sitting at zero, that was the goal, to bring you back to the stations in which we probably needed to make some adjustments. But if you guys are walking away with a positive balance and you're not at a zero, you guys have done an awesome job. So thank you guys for your participation today. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back over to Daryl to close this out.
I wanna thank you, Sean and Bengali. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I see Giselle raised his hand, so.
What's that?
I think Giselle raised his hand.
What you got, Giselle? Turn your mic on.
If I did it right, I think I got the balance.
Yeah, hey, what you got?
69 and 155. So that's $69,155.
69.
I'll throw the number in food.
That money you had left over?
Well, you're so frugal, Giselle. I don't know what you're.
Yeah, you should have almost all of his money left over.
Yeah, you probably wind up with $5,800,000. You're so frugal, you'll have a lot of money for your emergency fund.
Right.
Sean, just so you know, the youth also learned about Rule 72. So I hope, you know, students that with Mr. Sean and Mr. Bangali's advice, you guys got more time than Sean, Bengali, myself, and Rhonda. You got more time. Utilize it. Another thing, Sean, that they know is sometimes when we ask people to save money, they say, well, I don't have any money to save. But I challenge them to look up how much you would save at the end of the year if you saved a nickel a day and added a nickel, and that came out to over $3,300. So your audience is equipped with good information, Sean.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you.
Thank you guys. And I wish you guys the best, and definitely, you know, take heed. You guys, as Daryl just said, you have more than enough time. You have more time than we have to start putting away as soon as you get your first job, as soon as you come out of high school, in college. You know, put a little adds up to a lot. You know, pinching pennies definitely matters, in my opinion. So thank you guys, and congratulations.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Bengali. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Rhonda,
Everybody, yes,
yeah.
everybody stay on. We have a couple of exams to take. So everybody just stay on for 1 second. Bengali, can you take your share screen off so I can see everybody?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me add first of all, thank you, Sean and Bengali. This was fantastic. You guys did a great job today. Let's give our guest speakers a round of applause. Everybody clap. All right. Thank you very much. Yay. Okay, so now I'm going to put the exams over in the chat that I need everybody to take. So give me 1 second.
All right, you guys, take care.
All right. Bye.
Take care, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Okay, that is the survey for today that I'd like for you all to take. Once you've completed the survey, please send me a note in the chat letting me know that you have completed it. Now, next week is our last class. We're going to do a wrap up and review of everything we learned. And then I'm going to give you me and Daryl's email address so that you could send us a copy of your savings account to show us that you opened up your savings account and that you actually put money in sometime during this last 2-month period. So if you put money in, we started this class the top of February, right, Daryl?
Yep.
So if you made a deposit between February and now, that is what we're going to match. So if you put $200 in your savings account between February and now, we're going to match you. Now, if you have not opened your savings account, that's fine. You still have time. Go ahead and speak to your parents. And if you can, open up your savings account this week. And then you let us know that you did that. Does everybody understand?
It's got to be in your name.
Got to be in your name. Your parent has to take you there. And you can choose whichever bank you want to. It does not matter. But the savings account has to be in your name. Are there any questions?
It can be a checking account, Rhonda.
Huh?
It can be a checking account.
It cannot be a checking account. It has to be a savings account.
Yeah, just for clarity. So one of the things that I want you guys to understand, this is free money. If you put $200 in a savings account, you will get up to $200. Take advantage of the opportunity. Free money.
Wait, savings or checkings?
Savings.
Savings. Once you get the note back from me that says thanks, you can exit stage left and we will see you next week. All righty.
If you guys going forward or just next week can sign in around 5 minutes or 3 minutes before, it would be great.
Yes, that would be fabulous. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing good, but I forgot what the chapter name was. That's like what I was looking for the whole time.
It's Las Vegas.
Oh, just put it. So for the chapter, like
the chapter name is Las Vegas. Yeah.
Well, then I'm done.
Okay, fantastic. We'll see you next week.
Okay, that's the problem. I always don't know what the chapter name is, so that just will host me every time.
So you forget the name of you forget our name, the Las Vegas 100 Black Men of Las Vegas. You forgot our name.
But I think it's the chapter name of every lesson we do. So every time we come back, it's a new chapter. But I guess it's just Las Vegas.
Yeah, no. That question is the name of the chapter that you're doing the program with, and that's Las Vegas.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll see you guys next week then.
Okay, see you next week.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Rhonda.
Yes.
I got 2 questions.
Sure.
Well, comments. With the adult program, let's make sure we tell the audience to always wear a jacket.
Okay.
And you don't have to wear a suit and tie, but a jacket. And remind me to budget out a thank you and maybe a $25 gift card for our guest speakers.
Okay, absolutely. We'll do.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
You have a blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.